Good evening, friends, Vice-Chancellor and ladies and gentlemen. It's a very great pleasure indeed to be back in Kirklees after some 40 years or so. But it's a place which I look back on with enormous affection. It's also a very special honour and pleasure to be invited to deliver a lecture in memory of Harold Wilson. People of my advanced years will probably know what I mean if I say that for many of us, the Prime Minister is still in some sense Harold Wilson at the back of our minds and imaginations. Those of us who grew to something approaching maturity in the 1960s and early 70s will remember that remarkable period of transition and transformation in British politics, including the services of what was probably the most intellectually gifted cabinet of the last century. However, my subtitle this evening, about what theology might have to say to the crisis of democracy, is in some measure just a little bit of an act of revenge against the late Lord Wilson. Let me explain. He was reported as saying during debate on Clause 4 in the Labour Party that discussion of this subject was mere theology. In other words, it sounded rather as though for him theology was the name you reached for when he wanted to speak of something wholly theoretical and irrelevant. As my little act of revenge, I want to begin by putting some questions not only to the word theology, but to the word democracy, and to reflect with you a little bit about the nature of democracy itself, doing so at a time when I think there is a huge amount of public confusion about what that word means. In the last couple of years, we've had various high-profile political changes around the world, to put it gently and neutrally. High-profile changes which have sometimes been bundled together under the name of populism. Those whose voices have not been heard for a long time have voted in ways which people have said express their resentments, their anxieties, and their hopes. But very often, that expression of resentment, anxiety, and hope has been cast in terms of enacting something called the will of the people. I want to suggest that the will of the people is a very slippery term indeed, and that if we want to talk intelligently and creatively about democracy, we have to find some better language than that for it. The fact is that the word democracy has at least as disreputable a history as the word theology. Plato famously regarded democracy as the worst possible system of government. And of course, Winston Churchill memorably echoed that when he said that democracy was the worst possible system of government apart from all the others. But democracy was, for many generations, right up to the early modern period, a word which tended to designate something very close to mob rule. The demos, the people, in democracy, the Greek word for people is demos in this connection, is, in Plato's eyes and many other people's eyes, the uneducated, not very competent mass of the population. The people whose opinions you really don't want to attend to if you think of yourself as an enlightened and educated person. Democracy was up to the 19th century a notion regarded with dismay and horror by the highest authorities in the Roman Catholic Church. When Pope Pius IX, in the middle of the 19th century, produced his famous Syllabus of Errors, among those doctrines to which he thought the Roman pontiff ought never to be reconciled was democracy. So democracy as a power exercised by the crowd was almost a word for naked power in society, the power of pure majority opinion. And the fact that democracy has, in a sense, reinvented itself and made an honest woman of itself in the last 150 years has to do with the fact that a great many other factors have been brought into consideration. This has got a lot to do with democracy's claim in the 19th century to be better than the systems it was out to replace. And the systems it was out to replace were various kinds of autocracy, absolute monarchy, oligarchy, government by the privileged few, dictatorship, and so on. Democracy's respectability had a great deal to do with what it wasn't. But exactly what it was turned out to be a rather more complicated subject than many people expected. Because when democracy sold itself successfully as something better than autocracy and dictatorship and so on, it was able to present itself as a sort of natural default setting political system. Take away all those oppressive, illicit forms of power exercised by absolute monarchs or unelected elites. Take away all that, and what you have left must be a legitimate form of political arrangement. Democracy, therefore, appears as obviously the most legitimate kind of political system. A brief word on the word legitimate. I've heard the Vice-Chancellor now say on a couple of occasions that the question every university ought to be asking itself is, by what right do we teach? Legitimacy in politics is the question of, by what right do we or they govern? By what right? By what title? And democratic systems have been able to say the right, the legitimacy, the title is the obvious one, that this is what most people want. Now, in the last couple of decades, we've seen that this idea that democracy is what happens when bad government disappears is an idea rather difficult to realize. Western military action has overturned non-democratic regimes in certain parts of the world, defining non-democratic somewhat selectively at times. And the consequences of this overturning in places like Iraq or Libya have not always added up to democracy, as most of us would understand it. It begins to seem as though if you take away oppressive, unjust, illicit government, you don't automatically end up with a system that's defensible and legal and fair. You don't end up with what we think of as democracy. And all of that ought to give us a little bit of pause in thinking about global and indeed national politics. Is the only thing we can say about good government that it's popular government, or government by the majority? Well, clearly not. But if we're not saying that, what do we want to say? What might we want to say? If democracy is not a kind of transcendent given, or something which people instinctively reach for and realize, what characterizes democracy as a defensible, justifiable system? What exactly do we mean by it? So my first point is really to try and step back from the word democracy just for a moment and say two things. First, remember that its history is a bit complicated. And second, remember that when we use it to designate a desirable political future, we always seem to mean more than just rule by the majority. But of course, democracy, in the historical context I've just mentioned, democracy fits quite nicely with a kind of post-Enlightenment view of the world, a secularizing view in which the religious sanction of government is fading away. Democracy appears initially as an alternative to systems of government that are seen as mandated by God. If those systems of government can't justify themselves, if the divine right of monarchy, or indeed of large landholders in England in the 18th century, isn't taken for granted, then what? Then the will of the people. Then the kind of politics that most people want. But what makes that any less violent or absolute or arbitrary? There's the question. And that's where I want to move on to a second general point. When we talk these days about democracy, we sometimes qualify it with the adjective liberal. We speak about liberal democracy, don't we? And usually when we speak of liberal democracy, we mean not just the will of the majority, not just rule by the numerically stronger group. We mean a system in which the legal security of every citizen is guaranteed, the voice of every citizen is allowed to be heard, the rule of law protects every citizen. To the simple idea of rule by majority, we add these qualifications. The majority may have a right, in some sense, to make decisions, but those decisions always have to be balanced by a set of concerns which do not change from election to election. Concerns about law, concerns about minorities, concerns about the possibility of ongoing public debate. I've occasionally suggested that we might replace the term liberal democracy in this kind of discussion by the words argumentative democracy, because I think that is actually what we really want. I hope to explain that as time goes on. So we do in fact query the notion that the will of the majority is always right. The will of the majority may be lawful. That's to say, it may decide what we can permit, what we can sanction as a society. What the will of the majority doesn't do is close down an argument for good and all, and say this is not just lawful, but right. And as you can see, as this continues, I want to make that distinction, that rather awkward distinction between what's lawful and what's right, as a way of thinking about the democracy we ought to be working for. If you make that kind of disjunction between what's right and what's lawful, what's allowed, you assume that argument and persuasion are still going to go on. For a defensible, justifiable democratic system, we need open discussion and argument. We need the possibility of minds changing. And of course, that's why we need the possibility of governments changing. The distinction between democracy, in the full-fledged sense that most of us would give it, and populism, has something to do with that point about the rule of law and the right of minorities. And it's been very reasonably said that the true test of a justifiable system, political system, is to do with how it treats its minorities. Democracy has come to be allied in our minds with what you might in shorthand call moral and legal universalism. That is the idea that there is some universal liberty for the citizen, which government as such has got to preserve. Never mind whether the citizen agrees with government or not, never mind whether the minority group is prepared to go along with what the majority declares to be right. So the ballot, legal liberties, including liberty of public discussion and assembly, and the liberty of the press, universal access to legal redress, or injustice, or injury, those come to be cornerstones of the kind of democracy most of us would assume to be justifiable or legitimate. So there is my third introductory point. First of all, as I said, I want us to remember the history of the word. Second, I want us to remember that this particular history suggests to us that we should be a little bit suspicious of assuming that democracy is the default setting for human minds. Thirdly, we need to remember that the way we normally use the word these days, in association with an adjective like liberal democracy, takes for granted quite a bit more than just majority rule. And if all that is right, then to speak about democracy in terms of the will of the people is something about which we ought to be extremely suspicious. Now let me return for a moment to this distinction between what's lawful and what's right, which I suggested a moment ago. Stay with that for a bit. When you've got a majority backing for a certain position in public life, a certain position which has moral implications, you clearly have some pragmatic reason for thinking it probably ought to be allowed. That it is allowed, as I've said importantly, doesn't necessarily settle the question. The democratic system will give you pragmatically grounds for saying this can be done, this is allowable. The democratic system as such will not tell you this is right. And that's where it becomes really quite important for there to be in society communities where moral arguments are conducted vigorously and articulately. Those will, I think, include religious communities, not exclusively, but importantly. From society's point of view, from the democratic society's point of view, moral conclusions are always there to be debated. Power alone doesn't settle them. I noted a few minutes ago that Plato was not very enthusiastic about democracy as he understood it, but of course one of the most significant political contributions Plato made to the subsequent history of philosophy and politics was the point he underscored at the beginning of what's been in modern times certainly his most influential work, The Republic. His reflections on the nature of public life. Because that great work begins by posing the question, why is it not right to say that justice is simply the interest of the stronger party? Why aren't all important questions just settled by contests of power? And Plato gives a good deal of room to the voice of his great opponent, given the name of Thrasymachus in the Republic, who argues bluntly that justice is always the interest of the stronger party. Look around you, says Thrasymachus, how do societies actually work? What's right tends to be what powerful people like. Get used to it. And the whole of the rest of this very complicated work that Plato engages in, a work which takes us through social and individual ethics, and eventually into the realm of metaphysics. The whole point of that great work is to show why Thrasymachus is wrong. And even if there's no way of persuading Thrasymachus that he's wrong, it's very important indeed that there should be people in society who believe that and act upon it, who believe that majority votes do not settle ethical questions. If argument and persuasion go on being part of our political system, That assumes that a diversity of perspectives on big issues is not only inevitable, but even desirable. A diversity of valid, allowable positions means that there will continue to be debate, fundamental argument in society. And so long as that argument goes on, it will be that much more difficult for a society simply to close down moral questions by force. So the liberal democracy that I think we ought to be aiming for is one which assumes that diversity will continue and assumes that it's possible to clarify people's reasons in intense public and private debate. But all this is a bit abstract, so let me pick up two issues which illustrate the point. Now, I take these two particular issues because one of them is an iconic issue for the right and the other is an iconic issue for the left. Broadly speaking, not exclusively. They are the issues of abortion and nuclear weapons. Both these issues are still debated in terms of morality, and so they should be. Large and influential bodies of opinion and conviction clash over these questions. The debate over abortion, we are now 50 years on from the moment when abortion was legalised for certain specified conditions in the United Kingdom. A very significant achievement, it may be said, of precisely that remarkable cabinet which worked through our public life in the mid-late 1960s. Abortion is allowed. There is a consensus of opinion in this country which regards abortion as morally permissible. When abortion was legalised in 1967, the rights of conscientious dissent were quite carefully secured for that minority who were unable to accept the conclusion of the majority. That's to say, those involved in the medical profession were given the freedom to opt out of the system. A very clear instance of government recognising the difference between the freedom to declare what's lawful and the power to enforce what's right. A majority believed, and no doubt still believes, that abortion is right as well as lawful. A minority accept that it's lawful, but want to continue the debate about whether it's right. Argument persists. Diversity of opinion is something which does not seem to have lessened in the last half century as much as some might have thought. Certainly, it's an argument which has been made more robust by the association of moral opposition to abortion with particularly one religious body, the Roman Catholic Church. But debate has not been entirely around the right of the Roman Catholic Church to declare doctrine and ethics. Substantive moral questions persist and need to be dealt with. And every time, what you might call perinatal or antenatal ethical questions arise, whether they're to do with time limits on abortion or even with stem cell research, we are reminded that there is unfinished business here, and it's still possible to have moral arguments in public about this family of questions. Nuclear armaments is a rather different issue, but one which, say probably to the left rather than the right, has some surprising parallels. We are intermittently discussing the renewal of the United Kingdom's nuclear capacity. We've been discussing the moral propriety of the ownership and use of nuclear weapons since 1945, one way or another. That is the atom bomb and the hydrogen bomb before nuclear weapons. And once again, we can say that there appears to be a majority of the population, judging from voting patterns and other surveys, a majority of the population which believes the possession of nuclear weapons is, if not a good thing, at least the least bad thing. It's allowable. It's legitimate. Those who believe that the possession of nuclear weapons, as well as their use, is fundamentally immoral, unjust, defensible, continue to argue their case. It's an argument that, in those moral terms, we're probably having less vigorously now than we had 30 years ago. And I, for one, regret that. I would like to see us having some more obviously moral public arguments about what nuclear weapons actually do. But the point I'm making is a formal one, about the way in which those who believe nuclear weapons to be unrighteous, immoral, indefensible, are bound to accept that they are lawful, in the sense that the majority of the population can tolerate or even approve them. That they are lawful doesn't mean that everybody has to believe they are moral. So in taking those two moral cases, one, as I say, probably more associated with the right than the left, the other more with the left than the right, I simply make the point that legitimacy, lawfulness, has not ended debate about morality, and that in itself is a sign of democratic health. The law cannot define something as being beyond debate. The law can certainly prescribe that something is beyond defiance. It can, in certain circumstances, exact legal penalties from people who impede the operation of the law, who refuse to obey lawful injunctions. And most of those who have, for example, protested about the nuclear capacity of the country do so in full knowledge that they're quite likely to be prosecuted, and that perhaps is not the end of the world, because prosecution can allow some really rather eloquent public argument at times. So, that's an illustration of what I mean by making what I think is a significant distinction, a distinction about the nature of democracy, argumentative democracy, even liberal democracy. The risk is when either left or right attempts to say that a majority position is by definition right, that the debate is over. Those who are morally happy with the existing consensus on abortion can't simply say the law is the law, so the argument is over. Those who are happy with the existing public consensus on possession of nuclear weapons likewise cannot say the law is the law, so the argument is over. As I've said, one of the significant things about the abortion legislation half a century ago was the recognition that there was unfinished business here, and that the law had to respect minority conviction in whatever way was possible or manageable. Now, I want to move on from there to push the argument just a little bit deeper. The state as such, the law as such, doesn't have the right to declare what's right. So who does? The answer, either excitingly or disappointingly, is that nobody obvious does. These are things which communities go on arguing about, on the basis of widely differing, interestingly differing, sets of convictions about what human beings are like. All interesting moral questions are debates about what human beings are really like. At its simplest, you might say, in the abortion debate, one of the questions is, do we speak about human beings in the very earliest stages of life in the womb or not? Does what a human being is like include every phase of prenatal life? It's a very complicated argument to be had about that. Equally, when we look at the nuclear question, we have to ask, what is it that makes the mass destruction of human life offensive? What picture of human worth or human value is affirmed or denied by what we say about weapons of mass destruction? So, debates in our argumentative democracy are going to be debates about what it's like to be a man or a woman. Debates about what it's like to be a human agent. What liberties, dignities, depths and shallows we recognize in human beings as such. And the inbuilt complication or irony about democracy is that, while on the one hand it says the best practical guide to what we can allow is what most people will put up with, it also says every subject, every human subject, every citizen has a perspective on major public issues that needs to be respected and attended to, so that our picture of what's human is a picture of an infinity of human perspectives, all of which need to be taken with utter seriousness, even when you disagree. The rights of the minority, the freedom of a minority to be respected for its views, whether they happen to be anti-abortion or anti-nuclear, is an important factor in what I've been calling a defensible and justifiable democratic system. And this is itself a good thing, in that it reminds the state, the source of political power, that it has limits. In other words, it reminds the state that it can't coerce consciences. It seems to me that when we talk about liberal democracy, or even argumentative democracy, and when we talk about the rights of minorities and the rule of law, one of the things which runs through all those areas of reflection is the simple recognition that there are limits on the state's right to coercion. The state can coerce behaviour up to a point. It cannot coerce conviction. That is the cornerstone of liberal, defensible, justifiable democracy. So we come to believe. It rests on a doctrine whose sources go back a very long way, surprisingly to the Middle Ages. The idea that even a mistaken conscience deserves respect. You may be wrong. You may be wildly, madly, and illogically wrong, but you have a right to be taken seriously to the extent that your conviction is part of your liberty as a person and a citizen. And this is where, at last, I come to mention theology. I've said that this doctrine of the rights of even a mistaken conscience can be found in some form, even in the Middle Ages. And it's fascinating to look at some of the great theologians of the Middle Ages, above all St. Thomas Aquinas, in what they have to say about what we would now call human rights. Language of human rights is, of course, not there in medieval literature. But what is there in the work of somebody like Aquinas is a very interesting set of arguments about what the state can't do. The state, for example, cannot force you to change your religion. And the state cannot force you to get married or to forbid you the right to marry. Those are, curiously, the two linchpins of what Aquinas has to say about the liberties of citizens. Even the slave in Aquinas' world cannot be coerced in those ways. So freedom of religion and freedom in respect to domestic and family life are seen by some of those great medieval theologians as the keystone points in defining a state that is not oppressive, tyrannical, and unjustifiable. It's impossible for political power as such to declare moral conclusions in its own right. Now, of course, there are risks, distortions, and corruptions in plenty that accompany the history of the relations of church and state. We know that it's perfectly possible for political power to endorse certain moral conclusions in order to secure or to reinforce its power. There are governments that will reach for Christian or Muslim or whatever language to reinforce their own grip on a population, to strengthen a popular or populist vote. There are instances, again, in the Christian, the Muslim, and other religious worlds of religious leaders who found it very convenient to collude with that. And yet, at the heart of so much of this argument is the obstinate recognition among religious communities that they will have to accept that political coercion cannot do their work for them. If religious communities are serious about this, if they think it through as they ought, religious communities in any and every society ought to be among the most significant defenders of universal human rights, legal liberties, and what I'm calling argumentative democracy. And a society in which there were no communities of conviction, as I said earlier, would be a society whose moral confusions would be very considerable. If you look, for example, at the history of the People's Republic of China, you'll see the impact of a systematically secular approach to ethics over a number of decades. Ethics reduced to the interest of the party has meant that in the last 15 to 20 years, the people of China have had to work very hard indeed to recover the possibility of developing moral convictions and communities of moral conviction in the areas of the care of orphans, the care of the disabled, or of the elderly. The party's concern with what serves the party's interest has, or at least had until very recently, the effect of silencing debate about the rights and dignities of minorities. And I'm not saying that the only way to avoid that is to have active and vocal religious communities, but it's certainly one way which has historically had its effect. And it's no accident that as the People's Republic of China has developed in the last couple of decades, a very slow reworking, reimagining public and political attitudes to religion has gradually fostered a more alert and a more compassionate approach to the rights of minorities in some quarters. Some 11 years ago, when I was spending a little bit of time in China, my attention was drawn to the number of new small NGOs developing in China, especially in the cities, very often in more or less public association with religious bodies. Groups that were attempting to raise awareness of neglected issues, groups attempting to confront the tiny ones which have been planted with respect to the care of the elderly and the stability of the family in a certain era of Chinese politics. So, another little paradox. People who believe in absolute morality are vital to a sound political ecology, a good balanced view in politics. But what they can't do is claim political authority for their own absolute convictions. If they start borrowing the pressure that the state can provide in order to enforce their own views, they will end up cutting off the branch they're sitting on. Those who believe most passionately in unchanging moral principles are, you might say, condemned to go on arguing about them. If they try to short-circuit the argument on their own behalf by getting the political system to endorse what they say, they will in fact be handing over the state and the law that argumentative moral discernment which belongs to them rather than the state. So, to defend the idea of liberal, argumentative, plural democracy, democracy that's serious about the rights of minorities and the universal application of the law, is to take a deep breath and say, all right, there is going to be no simple public and political way of settling big moral issues, and we better not look to government to settle our morality. We need to ask how we foster and encourage and we deepen interesting or serious moral arguments in society generally, so that there will be communities of conviction around to pursue arguments, to remind the state that it doesn't have the right to coerce conscience. And what theology has to say to our political crisis, the crisis of our democracy, is that we need to be clearer than ever about that need for educated moral communities. In civil society, we need more and more energy to argue these matters. The role of the university, as I know the Vice-Chancellor would heartily agree in such a context, is to be one of those forces that promotes that kind of educated debate in society. Everything, you might say, leads to the ballot box. You end up having to make a political decision. And that political decision is or should be informed by the most sophisticated and diverse arguments you can find. But when your vote is cast, don't expect the government you have elected to solve your moral problems by force. The debate continues. The discovery continues. Because the moral perspectives we have from age to age on certain questions change dramatically. To take yet another highly controversial issue, whatever your personal convictions on this matter, it is surely very remarkable that we've seen within less than a decade a total turnaround of public attitudes to same-sex partnership and same-sex marriage. Right or wrong, the debate has continued. A new set of moral perspectives has been shaped. And so the argument goes on. The theological perspective is one which says there are indeed things about our humanity which are not negotiable. Things about human dignity, human worth, and human liberty, the right of every person to respect. There are things about our humanity that don't depend on the ballot box, which no human power can actually remove. Theology may seem as abstract as the late Lord Wilson apparently thought it was, at least at one point in his career. And yet, theology properly understood, the exploration of human dignity in the presence of the Creator, because it affirms something that does not change and is not vulnerable to power or fashion, theology becomes a matter of real political significance. Because if we are to avoid the errors of Thrasymachus, Plato's Republic, justice as simply a matter of power, we are going to need all the resources we can muster for resisting the idea that power settles arguments. That's it in a nutshell. We have to resist the idea that power settles arguments. And our theological perspective, speaking as a Christian, the same would be true of other religious communities. Our theological perspective is that the state is limited simply by the innate dignity of the citizen. And not only the citizen, but the human as such. Without that implicit doctrine of human nature, democracy is lost. It will become only a contest of power. Argument will be silenced or trivialized. It seems to me clear that it would be a great illusion to think that we're free of such dangers in the present global situation. Christianity and other faiths have a profound and again rather paradoxical investment in the independence of the secular state, in the fact that politics is not all about morality. The role of the religious community, the theologically informed community in a democratic society, is to go on pestering a secular government, not to do its will or enforce its judgment, but to allow its voice and to nourish it. Which is why one of the most important contributions that can be made by religious communities in such a society is to promote debate and diversity in education at every level, though that's perhaps another story. And from the state's point of view, if the state itself is not to be slipping again and again and again towards some kind of populist absolutism, some kind of potentially toxic exaltation of the will of the people, the state has an investment in articulate, competent religious communities and their well-being. I hope that's not just a statement of self-interest, but I declare an interest, as they say. We've seen in the last century a number of instances of states collapsing into absolutism. We've seen what happens when political systems arrogate to themselves the capacity, the right to say what is good, not simply what is allowable, what is possibly useful, but what is good. If that slippage is to be avoided and resisted, we need the kind of argument arising out of the kind of community that theology and religious conviction, as I say, among other resources, but very importantly, historically significant among those resources, that these communities can provide. I hope that in university and civil society and elsewhere, we go on nurturing the capacity to ask profoundly awkward moral questions of our politicians, while not expecting them to enforce are moral answers. And in that argument, that creative tension between community and politics, religious community and politics, moral community and politics, I think democracy will find its salvation.
Williams has given us a tremendous feast, so much to take in and to think about, ranging across the history of philosophy from Plato to the present day, and addressing some of the very particular questions that we are facing right today in our own society. So thank you so much for all you've given to us. I'm sure that will have sparked many thoughts among the audience here this evening. We've got about 10 or 15 minutes for questions. And what I'm going to do is open that up to the floor. There are 2 microphones roving around. I do ask you please to resist the temptation to make a speech. And I will stop you if you do. And please to make your questions as clear and succinct as you can. If you'd like to indicate by raising a hand, we'll take this gentleman here, please, and then, if you don't mind running right up to the top tier at the back, we'll go right up there afterwards. Yeah, please.
So if we have headlines which say the judiciary are the enemies of the people, where does that sit alongside now in 2017 democracy as you described it?
It's that kind of language which worries me, frankly. That anyone could use the phrase enemies of the people without awareness of what that meant in Stalin's Russia or Hitler's Germany seems to me extraordinary. The judiciary exists to support the liberties under law of an entire population, not to enforce the will of government as such. That's why the judiciary is such an important pillar of moral and liberal democracy. So I do worry about that kind of language. I worry about any society, and I'm thinking here of Mugabe's Zimbabwe, where the judiciary is undermined and shunted towards a pro-government position. To their credit, they have resisted, but there's been a lot of pressure. I worry about a system like that of the People's Republic of China, where the judiciary is subject to the party. The independence of the judiciary seems to me a key point here. So I think we ought to be careful and alert about that sort of language. I'm not suggesting that anyone in the editorial offices of any daily newspaper, which should be nameless, is somehow conspiring against democracy. But as they said in the Second World War, careless talk costs lives. And careless talk here costs, I think, democratic integrity.
Up at the back.
You've spoken of a sense of crisis, and I think that's something we all recognise. But isn't the underlying driver for the political crisis we've got actually economic? Isn't it a lack of resources that's causing everyone to panic and misbehave?
It's a very good question, and I think that people like myself who are more or less economically illiterate who try to talk about politics do have to keep an eye on themselves in that respect. Yes, of course, the nature of a great deal of our political crisis in the last decade and more has been heavily covered by economic collapse, economic inequity, and economic disadvantage, as we all know, is a driver of what I called at the beginning, the resentments and the pains of the face, perfectly legitimate concerns and sufferings, parts of the population. So it has a lot to do with that. It has a lot to do, therefore, with all those economic and social factors which encourage people to think they have no stake in how things go in public. And that, again, is where democracy begins to to shake and fragment. So I don't think we can address any of this simply by giving lectures on the nature of democracy, or even by education. Within this there has to be, again, an ongoing argument, and a moral argument, about social inequality and social exclusion and linkage. So I'm very glad you raised that.
Thank you. Lots more hands going up now. If I may take the lady on the end of the row in the red jumper first.
You hear increasing numbers of people obtain their information from social media, Facebook and Twitter and so forth. Do you have any views on their importance for public debate on political and moral issues?
Well, I'd say of social media, as has been said of many things, a good servant and a bad master. I'm not one of those who gets panicky or apocalyptic about social media, nor do I get messianic about it. I don't think it's the answer to all our problems, nor do I think it's the word of God. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to say with it? I do think that, certainly in the most recent election, social media played a very interesting role, as it were, circumventing the print media. That a sustained negative campaign in parts of the print media made no impact at all on a generation that didn't relate to the print media. So I think there are some very interesting things coming up. As I say, it depends what's the quality of that debate. And the risk, as we all know, of social media debate communication is the echo chamber, isn't it? Everybody thinks like me. And how you create spaces online and elsewhere that are safe places for real disagreement, real argument, is one of the biggest challenges we have. The more the echo chamber dominates, the more people get locked up in their own views. The more they get locked up there, the more alarmed they are, the more violent they can be in language about those who don't share those things. So how do we broker those conversations? That's certainly an educational question among others. So mixed feelings about that all, but having seen in context outside the UK, as well as in the UK, what a remarkably positive impact social media can have. And I think of the amazing assemblage of about 5,000 young people in New Zealand a few years ago after the earthquake. Within a few days, large volunteer student army was raised to go and provide basic frontline assistance to the victims of the earthquake in Christchurch. That's part of what social media story is, as well as other things. So what do we want to do, what do we want to say, how do we avoid the echo chamber? And again, I'd like to think that educational institutions like this one are part of framing that discussion.
Thank you. Hands up again. I think I saw a hand over on this side. Where? This, just here? Yeah. Thank you.
I'd just like to extend that line of inquiry because I'm an architectural academic and I'm interested in your notion of the argument of democracy in the context of public space or the civic realm. One of the things that deeply troubles me as a teacher of architecture and as a researcher is this question of the contribution of physical space to the space that you describe as places of debate. Richard Sennett wrote a book called Together, which you undoubtedly know about.
Indeed, yes.
And he describes cooperation as being in short supply. Would you agree with that?
I would. Richard Sennett is one of my intellectual heroes, I have to say. And I think that what he's written about the impact on the nature of public, the impact of certain economic and consequently social forces on the possibilities of public debate is really crucial. So I would agree with the anxiety. And with the question, where do we have those debates? It seems to me that we can't, say, be messianic about social media. And we may quite often have to be very, very prosaic and local about what can be done. We may have to recognize that perhaps the most important political activity we can engage in is seeing how many people we can get arguing about a subject in the pub week by week. And the decline of pubs is another question, which I think has an impact on the future of democracy in this country and others. But there are things that can be done at that grassroots level. I think, pub or no pub, faith communities ought to be heavily invested in helping those engagements to happen. And I'm always encouraged when, in the run-up to general elections, communities of faith quite often offer their premises for a hustings, a proper face-to-face discussion, not just a managed encounter. I hope that continues. But it's a long-term question, very useful.
May we go to the gentleman at the back and then the lady down here in the middle? Yes, pop your arm up again if you would. So there we are. If you want to come round this way. Sir.
Dr. Williams, I would like to ask you what you make of the recent decision that was made in the case of Guard and the Great Ormond Street Hospital, where we've had popes and presidents and crowds outside the Court of Appeal asking for a decision taken with great intelligence and information by the court to overthrow that particular decision.
Thank you. It's a very difficult question, but I think I would finally have to say that I'm not happy with the level of international comment and intervention, because I can't easily believe that the President of the United States or even the Pope necessarily knows more about the medical constraints involved than Great Ormond Street. Now, I don't say that lightly, because the agony of the family and the uncertainty about what is and isn't possible for that child, something about which I can have no definitive opinion myself. But there was a piece in one of the newspapers a few days ago, which I think in the most sensitive way possible said, it may be wrong to assume that experts are always right. It's equally bad to assume that experts are always wrong. And as you hint, a decision which I have no doubt at all was taken with great care and probably mental anguish by those involved. I don't think that should be written off, as some seem to want to. So, I don't know, I'm recording an unease about what can seem like a rather simplistic interventions from outside. I would pray and hope that there is some medical future still possible for that child. Of course, I don't think it's much helped by a public reaction which seems to say, well, never mind what the experts say. So, what can I say?
The lady here, and then I think we've had time for just one more question. If you might come, yes, to the lady on this side after that. Thank you.
Dr. Williams, you made the very clear distinction between what is legal and what is moral in your lecture. And therefore, by inference, those who make the laws, the politicians, and those who maintain the moral compass, i.e. the religious communities. And I'm wondering where the overlap is, and in particular, how important you think it is that our political leaders should be people of faith, and what we can do to make it easier for that to be the case in this country.
Very good question. Because, of course, lawmakers are no more abstract individuals than any of the rest of us. They have convictions, they have affiliations, they have communities they belong to. And I do think it's a pity that religious affiliation seems to be a bit of a red rag in a lot of our political discussion. And I worry about that. I think we do need to support people in communities of faith who are called, and I use the word advisedly, to public engagement. I think we ought to be very careful not to expect of them a partisan approach to our own concerns, but a kind of personal maturity, a prayerful, discerning habit of mind, which we help to form for. Even if they end up voting something we don't approve of, I would hope that we have people who will have weighed, thought through the moral as well as the pragmatic questions. So I think I'm simply saying I would like to have politicians of good character, and one aspect of good character is strong conviction, and one source of strong conviction is religious conviction. We ought to encourage that. We ought to encourage our colleagues, our brothers and sisters in communities of faith to see that as a genuine calling, and also to support people through what can be agonizingly compromising world, where sometimes decisions are between wrong and not quite so wrong, rather than between absolutes.
And finally,
and
finally, the lady here.
You spoke about continuing to have discussion and debate, and also about the rights of minorities. What do you have to say about Ayn Rand's assertion that the individual is the smallest minority? And also, do you think there's any point in continuing in discussion and debate with people who are demonstrably lying?
I'm very wary of Ayn Rand's view in all sorts of levels. Because if every individual is a minority, then every society is just a battle between an endless number of individual viewpoints. We all have interests in common. We try to mature and develop interests in common, I think. We discover the things which are only good for us if they're good for somebody else as well. So, not convinced by Ayn Rand. Do you continue to debate with somebody who's manifestly lying? If you can demonstrate the untruth of what somebody else is saying, then that's your duty to do it that way. If you can't do that, then the argument has to go on.
Well, the argument and the discussion could indeed go on and on this evening. It's often said a speaker should leave their audience wanting more. I think we could ask an awful lot more questions of Dr. Williams this evening and still be wanting more.
The University of Huddersfield, inspiring tomorrow's professionals.